went for that role, you didn't know you were auditioning for Doctor Who, is that correct?
Yeah, no, that I didn't know. I didn't know.
Tell me the story.
Well, basically, and I've told it before, so if you've heard it, sorry. But so I got a call from my agent saying that there was a role going in as a guest in Doctor Who season 2. And then she gets another call saying, oh, there's 2 possible characters that you could audition for in that same episode. So they want you to read for the 2 different characters. So I was like, okay, great. So I went and auditioned for the 2. And then she gets a call saying, actually, they've done a rewrite of the episode. And one of those characters is not going to be in it anymore. So like, that's gone, but she's still in the run-in for the other one that she's gone up for. And that was Adiola. And then, so I got it. Went and did the job. I had such a good time. I got to the hotel in Cardiff, and within about 10 minutes, I got a call from reception saying, there's been a complaint, your music's too loud. Because I was having stuff, I got there, I was like, I'm in Doctor Who! I cranked my music up, and I was drinking out the minibar, and they were like, can you keep it down?
Good Evangelos Economo, he's dressed as Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Reception. Thank you.
This is why we say, please don't video any of this, because that person would die of death, wouldn't they, if they kept coming up on that video. Dressed as Sauron.
Well, I hope they're found. So I was ever so excited to just be there. Got down to set, it was like a 2-week shoot. And I said to my agent, everyone's really friendly. Like the producers keep coming down to introduce themselves, Ross has been down to introduce himself, the directors, all like everyone's like really involved for a tiny little guest role. So I was like, that's cool. And I didn't know that the whole time I was being auditioned to come in as the new companion.
Is that a good thing though?
It is a good thing, because then when you know things like that, you just kind of overthink it, and then you're like, oh, what do I say? I've just been asked a question by them. I better make sure I sound very Doctor Who-y in my answer, or I won't get it. No, I was just myself, just BBB. And then after that job finished, she got a call saying they're going to do a new show called Torchwood, and they want to see her for a regular in that. Still, it was always Doctor Who. And they said, we don't have any script for Torchwood, so can she read from episode 1, season 1, which is called Rose? Can she audition from that? But still didn't cotton on. And then it was only when they called us before the screen test with David that they said that it's just been Doctor Who the whole time.
I am not. Could you just imagine? Could you just read this little gig with David Tennant? You guys okay with that? I would have died. That's unbelievable.
I'm glad it went the way it went, because it turned out all right.
I think so. I think it did indeed. And do you know, I had the honour of interviewing David here. Oh my God, I'm not going to lead you. I'm just going to ask you. Obviously, when you're looking at you guys, when I'm watching Doctor Who, the chemistry is utterly amazing. I mean, you must have been told that before. It is utterly amazing. Is that real?
I hate him. I've told this story as well before, but he left a note before the day of the screen test. And it made all the difference, because the thing I was most nervous about, because I'd done my own bit up until that point, and it got me to that point. So I was like, well, I must be doing all right if I'm at the last stage. The thing I was most nervous about was them working with him in this final audition, because I thought, if I walk in the room and you immediately feel there isn't a chemistry, or that person's so seasoned and you're so brand new and it's all going to be difficult, that would have been the moment I'd have tripped myself up. But the fact that he wrote a note, left it at reception, was like, we're all here rooting for you, we're behind you, let's go and have fun tomorrow. He said, let's just have fun, don't think about it, let's go play. And we got in this room and we're like, it was a bit surreal. You're in a hotel room and the casting director's there and the producer's there and you're like, what are we all doing in this hotel bedroom? And then they're like, right, now imagine you're on the moon. And I was like, what? As we play for a living, and it was a good reminder to just go in and have fun. And I did. And it is, and he's wonderful. I don't think I saw one day working with that man where he wasn't anything other than so enthusiastic and so upbeat, and you've met him. That's what he's like. He's just so happy to be there, and when you're the lead of a show and you've got that good energy, it resonates and ripples out. And it was a really happy set. And I think a lot of that's to do with him and Russell.
You know, we see a lot here, obviously, when the guests come in, you know, with yourself, now you'll be signing photos, we go, Freema, we need you now, you've got to go now, you've got to go now, you know, to be on stage. It's stressful, it's really stressful, and you're going to see the worst side of people, you always are. And yet, working with David, you know, the first thing that happened, you know, when we finished the interview, big hug, that was not the show when we got outside, oh, thank you so much, it was a great interview, and you were there. This guy is so generous.
Yeah.
He is so generous.
He's
Just
happy
such
to be, he's happy to
Yeah.
be doing his job, and
He's totally real.
it's refreshing.
Oh, God, we love David. I am very aware we don't have much time.
Okay,
left.
I'll stop. Yep.
So what I want to do is see if there's any. I can't imagine there will be any questions. Any questions? If there's any questions out there, we've got a roaming mic.
Okay.
And so if you've got a question for Freema, please put your hand up. And oh, there's one over here straight
Yeah.
away. I can see. Have we got a roaming mic? Yeah, brilliant. We're going to keep it fit today. Look at this. Oh, there we go. We've got some here. We'll come over to you.
Hello.
Good stuff.
Hello. I was wondering, do you have any part in the 60th?
Well, basically, so I would never say. I don't know what to say.
Possibly.
I think that, you know, let's just wait and see what happens.
Okay. Damn it.
Sorry.
Factual.
Hello.
We got lots of hands up here.
There you go.
Hi Freema.
Hello.
So I'm a really big fan of the big finishes that you did, the year of Martha Jones, and I'm just really interested to know if you're planning to do any more, if there's any more in your works.
No, well, that one was over a really long period of time because of COVID, and I remember starting it all shutting down, and then I think I even recorded a bit of it while I was shooting in New York, and then it stopped, and then because I had to film something, and then I come back to London and picked it up again, and I was saying to Scott, it's a bit like, it feels bitty, and like everyone's already done their parts, and I'm thinking it's a time, the appetite for it just passing, and he's like, no, we're going to finish it, we're going to get it out there, it's going to be great. And we had some brilliant days in the studio, it was just me and him, and then he'd overlay Adja with stuff and everything, and then when I heard it all, they're so brilliant at their job that you listen to it and go, you'd never have known there was all of those obstacles that were in the way of doing it. So we finally got it out there, I'm so proud of it. I would love to do more stuff with them. So yeah, watch this space.
Fabulous. Another question?
Hello.
Did you keep any props from your set?
I was one of the only people probably who didn't steal anything from the time. I couldn't. Too well raised. I often keep memorabilia from all the jobs that I do. I'm quite a hoarder, so I have little boxes of something that my character may have worn, or something that was in the house of where the character lived, like, because the prop departments are so clever and all the little details they put in all of the sets is so fun. But so I have Doctor Who stuff. I tell you what I do have. The episode, the Daleks in Manhattan with the pig and the showgirl, and you know all the dancing girls have their dressing room. There's loads of pictures around the walls. I don't know if you ever watch it again, and you'll see there's pictures on the corridors where they are and in their dressing rooms. I got all of those. I asked for one, and then I was like, well, I'll push my luck. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I was like, can I have all of them? And I got them all. But yeah, I didn't take anything off the TARDIS because that's for everybody.
And everyone takes a little bit of David Tennant in their heart as well.
Hello, Freema.
Hello.
I suppose, as an actress, if you could play or portray any historical character of your choice, who would that be?
Whew.
Great question.
It is a really good question, and it's one that I don't have an answer to because I haven't really thought about that, and it's one that I'm going to think about after today because that's quite a good one to... It's funny because lately in my career, I'm less thinking about parts that I would want to play as much as I'm thinking about people that I want to work with. Because I'm increasingly realizing it's such a nomadic profession, and if you're lucky, fortunate, you can find yourself traveling around the world, and then you're quote unquote on your own, but you're not really. You're in a community, we're in a traveling troupe of storytellers, and I'm getting so much joy out of that. And there are wonderful creatives that you can flow with and friendships that you make. And I think, excuse me, there's roles I've played that might not have been as substantial, but I've gotten the most out of them because I've felt in an environment where I could grow, versus roles that you think, I'm going to nail this, and you don't feel like there's necessarily a support. I haven't really felt that. I've been very fortunate in all of my jobs, but I'm aware that if I was to say an answer, and I was not working with the correct people, then it might not be work that I would be proud of. I can't bloody sing. I could mime, yeah. All right then, I'll talk to my agent. Thank you for your question.
Amazing question. Okay.
Hi, people.
Hello, hi. There.
So Mark Jones is one of my absolute favourite companions, and I wondered if there was a particular episode or story that was a favourite of yours to film.
Do you know what? I did a convention in New Zealand a while ago, and something occurred to me after I finished that I need to do a rewatch of season 3, because my memory of it, certain things jump out at me, but then when I talk to people like at the tables or whatever, and they say, I like this episode or this particular villain or that storyline, I'm always like, oh my God, I've almost forgotten about that, because memory's a weird thing, isn't it? It all just sort of blurs in. So I was like, do you know what, I'm going to do a rewatch. When I do, I think my answer might change, but right now, in terms of how my memory is, Shakespeare Code is pretty high up there. I loved everything about it. I love Shakespeare, so I loved the opportunity that we got to shoot in the Globe, that we had it to ourselves. I stood on that stage in like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was kind of magical, otherworldly, I really loved Smith and Jones just because it was my first outing. I love Gridlock. I like so many of them, but I'm gonna have a rewatch. Do you have one? Oh, your mic's gone now. Human Nature and Family of Blood. See, brilliant.
Amazing.
They're good, aren't they? Those ones. Martha in Control. I'll pick that one then. Thank you.
We get another question, please.
Hi.
Hello.
I've got a question. If you could play any other character in a companion, who would you play?
Any other character than a companion?
Yeah, like,
in Doctor Who?
yeah, in like a master or anything.
Other than a companion. Ooh, I'd like to be. Your face expected.
I'm just waiting for you to say the Doctor.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to be a villain. I'd like to be one of the baddies. I think I'd like to be a weeping angel.
Good choice.
Just because they're kind of cool, and you can't not think of one of the good villains without them being in there, can you? Yeah, I would love to be. And it was so wonderful when we shot that episode being on set, because they often use dancers in a lot of the heavy prosthetics, just because they had strong bodies and were there for hours and holding poses and positions. And it was just so weird at lunch seeing the angels just walking through, still with the face on her, just walking through, going to get what they needed to at lunchtime. It was quite surreal, but yeah, I'll go with that. Just because I fancy playing a baddie for a minute. That'd be quite fun.
I can't imagine you as a baddie.
Which is why I must do it.
Yes. Next question.
Hi, Freeman. Just have a question there regarding Russell T Davies, because obviously when he was showrunning back in 2005,
Yeah.
he was famously known for spin-offs, but now coming back, apparently there's more reports of more spin-offs, like a unit one, for example. Are you able to confirm whether you have any involvement or if you were ever contacted?
Are you able to confirm. I have the legal. Cannot deny. I'm not able to confirm. But I love Martha, and I just feel like she had a brilliant trajectory that we didn't necessarily get to fulfill. She, you know, there was that great character arc, and then obviously she got stuck a little bit in the unrequited love storyline, so we didn't get more of her development. And then the Torchwood move was genius, I felt like, because we got to see another side of her. And then, of course, I was supposed to go into Torchwood full time, but there was shooting conflicts, and I was already about to go and start another job, so I couldn't do it. And then there was Sarah Jane Adventures, as Martha was supposed to go into that. So there was always opportunities to kind of see development there that never came to fruition. So I would love to have the opportunity to see what she's like now, and yeah, so we'll see.
Okay, another question.
Hello.
Where are we? You're on the same side, okay. Hello. Oh, it is.
The lights are
It's like a game, yeah. Hello, love you.
What was the best part about portraying Martha?
The best part about portraying Martha, there was a lot. I really liked that when we first meet her, she seemed like she had her life together. She was, you know, she's got her own flat, she's studying to be a doctor, she's very much the kind of glue of her family, they're responsible, very independent, and then this alien in a spaceship comes along, and I kind of like that she isn't, she was up for a little bit of fun still, despite having her sort of plans, but I love that all the way through she's like, I'm only going to be here for a little while, I'm only going to come on a couple of adventures, but you know, that all carried on, and I love that so she was open to exploring new things, even though she had her life sort of set in the way that she felt she wanted it to be. So I like that she has the adventurous side as well as being very put together. I really like that she's strong. I really like that. I really, I'd have chats with Russell actually, because certainly with the ending, when we were doing the scene where she leaves the TARDIS, and we were all really emotional on that day, so I kept getting emotional, and then Graham Hart would run in and say, Dad, Russell, you know, giving notes, and he was like, no, this is to be a moment of strength, actually, because she is taking agency over her own life and her own choices, and that's really hopefully going to resonate with somebody in the audience that might feel that speaks to them. And I also said to him, but you know, with the unrequited love, I was like, it's Saturday night, it's kind of like fantasy, shouldn't it be more of a fairy tale? It all feels a bit like hard. And he was like, but so can life be. And maybe again, someone's going to watch that and go, I know what that feels like to have unrequited love, to feel rejection, to, you know, I think we have to tell stories on a wider level that can connect with all sorts of people, going through all sorts of things, through all sorts of lives. So I like that she was quite representative of all.
I was just going to say, you're really emotional recalling that. That was absolutely incredible.
Oh, I did,
really
yeah,
lovely
I like that character a lot. I just, yeah, I've got a lot of time for her.
Oh, another question.
Hi, Prima.
Hello.
I've been a fan of watching Doctor Who at such a young age of David Tennant's era. I'd like to ask, what's it like working with, as well as David Tennant, like other actors like John Barrowman, for example?
Oh, it was such a laugh. John was, brilliant. Do you know, one of the things I really loved about that show is each of the episodes always felt like they were a different genre. I felt like I could be in a comedy show, a sci-fi show, a drama, I don't know, a documentary. Like it just felt like the theme of each one was so different. And similarly, the way we shot each one was so different. So I love that on some days you could have 20 actors on set, all be together, having banter, like a mad party, and other days it would be like Gridlock, for example, was just me and the other two actors in that car. And I never saw David and I never saw anybody else. It was just us on set in that little car for 2 weeks. And I got to know them really well. And then you form different kinds of relationships with actors in that way. So, yeah, it was just, I loved that it felt different every time. I remember there was one day where I was sat with John and like it could be so fantastical, but also so everyday. Like I was sitting there and I remember I had to change banks and I didn't know which bank to move to, and I was working with David and John. I was like, what's a good bank? And they're like, depends if you want a mortgage deal, or and I remember the two of them were giving me advice on like managing my money. So I was like, yeah, should I put it in like this kind of ISA? I don't really know what to do. So they were really great for life advice as well as just it being so silly and so fun. Yeah, good memories.
John is particularly unpredictable, isn't he?
He is really unpredictable, and I remember when he came onto set, it just changed the dynamic so much. He's such an amazing force, and he's another one that's just, I've never seen miserable, never seen moody, just jolly, happy to be there, and it makes a difference to the working day.
He is unpredictable. The last time I interviewed him, he came on stage, introduced himself, then took somebody's mobility scooter, started to go around there and picked up a newborn baby, and continued on. And I was trying to do the interview, and I was heart in mouth. I'm not kidding you. John, you're totally unpredictable. Let's go on to the question quick.
Brilliant. See, that's what he was like. I'd be sitting there like the grown-up, like, no, we can't do that. John, you can't do that. And he'd just be off and away. I loved it.
He's awesome.
Who are we looking at?
Next question. Over here.
Hello.
So, what's your favourite memory from on set?
Loads. Like, there's just too many. There's honestly too many. One memory. Ooh. I suppose the day that, excuse me, that I first walked onto the TARDIS, that was pretty memorable. It was actually the way the schedule was put together, that we shot that scene as so sometimes you shoot out a sequence, right? So I could have shot scenes in the TARDIS, and then we could have gone back and shot the scene where Martha first sees the TARDIS and goes in for the first time. It's all out of sync, but it so happened that the day I shot the scene where Martha is going into the TARDIS for the first time was the first time I, as an actor, ever got onto the TARDIS. So there wasn't much acting there. I was a little bit like, this is kind of wild. It was one of those moments where, and I often try and do this in my job, trying not to forget how lucky and fortunate I am and we are to be doing a job that we really truly love, and after a while, yeah, they're long hours and it feels like your job, but I want to make sure I never see it as that. I always want to remember how amazing and fun it is. And so walking onto the TARDIS for that first time, I remember I was thinking my mum would be watching this, and my dad and my family and everyone who watches Doctor Who in my life would just be like, it's kind of a big deal. And yeah, that would be one of my memories.
Amazing. Time has almost caught us up. Do you know this is the first panel I realised we've got two Dr. Joneses here. Look at that, Martha.
Oh yeah.
The first time. Are we good to do this photo? Should we do this photo? Is there any? Everybody happy to be in the photo?
Yeah.
Did you want to ask your question, babe?
Oh, sorry. Come and ask your question. I'm so sorry.
Even up to you for me, tell everyone.
If you couldn't choose David Tennant, which doctor would you choose and why?
Do they already have to be a doctor, or could I pick anybody? They already have to be a doctor. I'm gonna say, and it's not just because they're here today, but I genuinely would have said one of three people. It would be Sylvester, Peter, or Paul. And I tell you for why, because Paul is in my all-time favourite film called Withnail and I. I'm obsessed. Oh my god, I can't. I'm like that with him at the moment. I'm trying to be cool, and I'm like, hi.
Time to have some
So I'd
boots.
love to have worked with him. Peter, I got to know really well when I worked with him on another job called Law and Order. He played my boss on that, and he's so much fun and so warm and lovely to work with. So I would like to work with him. And Sylvester, because he's just got brilliant stories. I don't know if you've been to his panel, and he's so generous and kind. So it would be one of those three, but I wouldn't be able to pick which one out of those two. Can I rotate them?
That's very.
Thank you.
Oh, let's do this photo. Let's do this. Right. Okay. Are we going to do it on both our phones and then? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Shall I get this out of the room and get that?
Go on then, yeah. We'll do that. Hold on. Are we ready?
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1. They're very quiet. You ready? You ready? On the count of 3. Oh, we've already come up.
Yeah,
Ready?
ready?
3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Yeah.
Please come and put your hands together. May not be a weeping angel, but definitely an angel. Thank you very much.
Squeaking. Squeaking. Well, probably with David Tennant's